guys, good morning. It's Cecilia, aka ForRealCeil with 90 Days to Do and MLS. How are you doing today? It's a little warmer today. Or to me it feels like it because now I'm dressing back in severe layers. Wouldn't believe. I'm not playing. I don't like being cold, so being an outdoors person, fishing and stuff like that, you learn how to layer up and adapt to weather conditions. So I'm good. I'm comfortable right now. I feel like I have enough clothes on, so it's a good thing, you know. And I sometimes find it refreshing when it's really crisp and cold. It's a different kind of cold today. It's like a dry, crisp feeling, and I kind of like that. You know? Go figure. So, guys, I'm driving in as usual. I'm talking to you, talking about my thoughts, and I have a video that I did the other morning that I didn't post, and the reason I didn't post it is because I feel like I wasn't speaking clear enough. My mind was on a lot of different things because I tell you I was approached by a person who gave me food for thought, made me think a lot about one of the things that my preference over insurance policies and how to utilize the insurance and things of that nature. But what they don't know is that the whole life policy that I have is not the standard typical whole life policy. I have a specially blended policy that makes it easy for me to gain the dividends, the guaranteed dividends on any cash value I have in my policy, as well as utilize my own cash flow until whenever while I'm alive. And he did bring a strong point. A valid point is when I pass away, the cash value of the policy stays with the company, and the cash value of the policy stays with the company, and the death benefit is all that your family is going to get, minus any loans that you have out of your own cash value. Okay, let's use this as a strong example, because I discussed this with my mentor, my financial advisor and stuff, and we talked about the policy again. That's true. The company will keep the cash value in your policy. And if you have a current loan out, even though it's your own money, that amount of that loan will be deducted from your policy, your death benefit, the final expense benefit, all right? So let's say, for instance, I have my $500,000 policy, and I have $100,000 out on a loan. Well, my policy death benefit is only going to be $400,000. Okay, fine. The family will get $400,000. I'm not concerned about that, because if I have $100,000 out on a loan, it's likely that we used it as a family to do something, or to get something, or to purchase something in totality that is not leaving a monthly payment. So my family will have it anyway, because everything that is in my possession is going to be in a trust to my relatives. So I'm not concerned with that. On the second note, we tried to make it seem like it's foolish to have a policy like this, that you have to take loans from your own money and pay an interest rate. But when you pay the interest rate, it goes back to your policy. They're making money somehow to keep doors open. We understand that, but it's minimal compared to if I want to take a loan from a credit union, or if I want to take a loan from a bank. I'm not paying those exorbitant fees. I'm paying a minimal fee, and when I pay it back, it purchases me more insurance, the interest on any payment. So it's really, really good. I mean, I don't know if the people that I was speaking to are geared to one preference or another in the type of insurance just because they're field of work, because some people prefer term insurance policies. What I really want is a Roth IRA, and I'm gonna get one, and I'm trying to figure that out. I'm looking at numbers and and just working it into my plan, to budget for that. Because right now, if I could get a Roth going and get the kind of rate of returns or interest, and of course it's tax free money, and I can also take loans from my Roth IRA as long as it's not a distribution, and I can put it back in a pinch. But I wouldn't do that because I'm still going to have my whole life policy that I'll be utilizing as my cash cow. Because another thing about it is the interest on the cash value of the policy, and I discussed this with the other guy too, is given based on the cash value of the actual cash you have in your account. So if you have a loan now, let's say you have $30,000 in your cash value, and you have $15,000 out on a loan, and there's only $15,000 in when your dividend is issued. Your dividend in where I have my policy is anywhere between a guaranteed floor of 4%, all right, up to 12% annual dividend on your cash value of your policy. So whatever amount that is actually there in your policy, you get your cash dividend on. And when you replace the money back to your account up to the full amount, you'll get the full dividend applied to your account too. So that is huge. It's huge. And what you do with your dividend that you receive, you can take it out. You can take it out as a loan. Yes, you're taking it out as a loan, and yes, you're being charged interest. So what? Every place that you put money in and take money out, other than a regular saving account, which is going to give you less than 1% on your money in your account, is going to cost you money. All right. So the key is having a specially blended policy, knowing how to take money from it, how to put money back, and the time to do it, so that you can capture the dividend. When you capture the dividend, then you can utilize your account in any way you want. Because once they give you a dividend, it's a paid dividend, they don't take it back. You can receive your dividend on day one, and on day two, take all of that out and then put it back at your leisure. Because again, it's your own money. You can take it all out and never pay it back. So long as you keep your monthly premium going, they are not going to close your account by default because you're paying your premium. And any paid up additions will go first towards the interest that's out on a loan if it becomes due. But interest on these loans from your own whole life policy do not come into play for, I believe, almost a whole year after you have the loan out. So at that point, then yeah, you're paying your premium, and then they're just taking money and putting it towards your interest instead of your cash value. Well, so what? Again, you already have cash value. You're utilizing your own account, and you're putting it back as you see fit or when you see fit. But the beauty of this whole life policy, again, is that you are your own banker. You don't have to talk to a person. You don't have to ask somebody. You put your information in the computer, you get your money, and you go about your business, and you do what you will. And yes, again, it's your own money. You put it in an account, you're utilizing it, and then when you pass away, all that cash that's there, the company gets it. Unless what? Unless you sick as hell and you say, hey, go online, put this account information in, take out a loan, have it sent to my checking account. Because again, everything that's in your account, everything that's in your trust, everything that you have left for your family, they're going to get. And in a few days, couple days, the money that you requested from your personal loan in your back office on Guardian is in your account. Now you have your money. Yes, they take deducted from the amount of the policy. Again, so what? Because you actually have the money already. So, it's just like every insurance company charges you a premium for a policy. Term life policies expire. When you have a term life policy, after 10 years or 20 years, whatever the term is, that policy is no longer valid. It's just gone. So you've paid all this money into a policy for several years. So since you just didn't happen to die, your policy is null and void, and then you have to get reinsured. Suppose you don't qualify for the same terms. Suppose you don't qualify for the same amount. So you paid for many, many years into a policy that may have been a very huge policy, and you might have paid several $100s a month to keep it going, and then you pass away, and then what? Now your family gets it, but what if you don't die? Now you paid several years into a policy, hundreds of dollars a month, and your 20 years pass. Let's say a 20-year term life, which is not typical, but I know they do offer them, and you don't die. Now you go to get coverage again, and you don't qualify at the same level. Your health is different, your age is different, so now you have less coverage and maybe a lesser monthly premium or more because you're older now in the insurance shit, and you may wind up with a lesser policy, still paying a lot of money, and all those years you could have been paying a decent amount and utilizing your money that you put into a policy. So, I mean, it's all preferential. It's all about what you know and how you utilize what you have. And again, people who will never understand it, don't understand the concept of infinite banking and utilizing a whole life policy, should watch the video by Nelson Nash, Becoming Your Own Banker, or the infinite banking concept, because there is a concept, there is logic behind it. It does make sense. However, everybody has their own opinions about it. And again, every single service has a fee. The fee is the fee is the fee is the fee. Including term life policies, they have a fee. There is a fee for everything. No service is free. Checking and savings accounts. Let's go for instance, because we talked about money too. We talked about why you would have to pay interest to borrow your own money from an account. Okay, that brought up a flag, and it gave me food for thought. But again, it's the fee. It's about having a service, providing that service, having a vested account where you can take pretty much anything and everything out of it, and no matter what you take out, it's still not hardly in comparison to the policy amount that you have. So let's put it like this. I may have a policy, $1 million policy. I don't have $1 million policy because I don't want to pay $80,000 a year. Well, that's wrong. That's totally wrong. It wouldn't even be $80,000 a year. I wouldn't have to pay that much money for that policy. I would be if I wanted to dump $100,000 every year into a policy as my cash value. So if I had $1 million policy, which eventually I'm gonna have a couple of them, and I took out $500,000. I left $500,000. They deducted it and gave $500,000 to my family. Where do you think that other $500,000 went to? Do you think I took it out and went out eating? Or do you think I took it out and paid off everything that I owed on anything possible, including a house, a property, a car, all my debt paid or whatever, likely? Okay. So I did that, and then I have some still left in my personal accounts, and then I pass away and my family only gets $500,000 instead of $1 million. Every single thing that I owned is fully paid for. The rest of my money is in my accounts, which is in a trust to go to my relatives. They, on top of that, get the $500,000 insurance. Who's losing? Nobody is losing anywhere in that equation. I don't see it. So again, yeah, everything has a cost. Everything has a fee. People gotta learn to take things for what it's worth at face value. Now, I really admire Susie Orman. She's a fabulous coach. She is a mentor of mine. She is totally intelligent and bright and very, very wealthy. She knows about a lot of everything concerning finances. This woman is totally against whole life policies. She says the biggest ripoff in the world. That's not totally true. It depends on how you utilize it and what you do with it. Again, every single thing has a fee. You gotta pay to file paperwork. You have to pay sometimes to have an account. Some check-ins and savings account charge you a monthly fee. If you don't have a certain amount in the account, they'll charge you a monthly maintenance fee, which makes no damn sense, because the less money you have in an account means that you don't have any money, and then they're going to charge you money to have an account, which makes no sense. But anyway, that's the banker's way. That's why you become your own banker. Then you have accounts that just charge a monthly maintenance fee because, or if you have inactivity, they'll charge you a fee just because. Or so the fee is the fee is the fee again, and the interest rates on those accounts are shit. They're it's bull. I don't care what account you have. The best account out here for me with regard to interest is the Capital One. You know, it used to be ING. I started an account with ING, and then it changed to Capital One. And the interest on those accounts is decent, you know. But still, I'm not getting 4% annual interest on there. I'm not getting 6%, 8%, 10%, or 12% annual interest on there. 1.75. It's pretty good, and I'll take that for a regular account. That's pretty good. So I'm not worried about that account at all. But the other places, other banks and institutions charging people $14 a month monthly maintenance fee. You add it up and you do the math. How is a institution that will only give you 0.1% interest every month? Well, I said 0.1% interest every month, or 0.2% interest every month. Gonna charge somebody $14 a month to maintain an account. That's just unfair. Now that's the robbery. That's the ripoff. That's the hugest ripoff. Bank accounts. Yeah. Decentralized institutions that take people money and make it seem like they're giving them such a great deal. You know, it's really interesting. You know, finances is funny. It's a lot to be learned. It's a lot of different ways to become wealthy. It's a lot of different ways to lose your wealth, and it's a lot of different opinions about everything. I guess it's all based on concepts and utilization, though. You have to be willing and open to learn about different things, and also willing to listen. So one of the things that I gained from the conversation I had with the gentleman about my policy and about the pros and cons, and in his mind it was all cons, but I see so many pros, and I'm still highly satisfied with the policy that I have. I do want that Roth IRA. I do want to open one. Now I had opened a traditional IRA with H&R Block several years ago, and then they sold it to a company, and that company wrote one letter introducing themselves, and I moved a couple of times since then. I have lost contact, so I don't even know where that money is, and I have to locate it. So I'm gonna have to get in touch with H&R Block, find out what company has those IRAs, reach out to them and say, hey, Donde es mi dinero? I need to know where that's at. And then maybe I could roll that into a Roth IRA because it was a traditional IRA. It wasn't nothing significant or great. And I don't think that in 2018, oh shit, I'm out here. I don't think that in 2018 that I lost everything in there. You know, I know that there was a significant change and I had to reallocate my stuff. I have a diversified portfolio in my 401k at work, and I readjusted, you know, because I've always been aggressive and pro growth and things, but I had to adjust based on the market. You know, you gotta be vested in things that you know are gonna do well, things that are bringing back, you know, a good return, and stay plugged in. Stay plugged in into what your investments are doing. You know, don't leave it there. If it's not doing good, switch it around. You can do that, and you have every right to change what percentage goes to where. And it just is it's very interesting and fun, especially when you're on the upside. You know, it's amazing knowing that you can take a little something and turn it into a lot of something with the right tools, with the right coaching, with the right knowledge about stuff, and just knowing stuff and knowing how to ask those questions. Because again, you can go to many institutions and want to start an account or do a certain function and talk to people about stuff, and sometimes you go to a financial institution and you know more about finances than the people who sitting behind the desk who are trying to talk to you, or a banker or whatever, or they won't offer you certain stuff because they think that you don't know about it. They won't offer you certain stuff because of this. They won't offer you certain stuff because of this. They won't offer you certain stuff because of this. You know, you have to be aware, be educated, learn how to ask questions. If you're not sure about something, ask. Always ask questions. You know, I was at the group. We had a big convention in Atlanta, and I know this because I've seen it many times in our trainings, and I heard it and I talked about it. It just didn't click to me though. You know, and MMP, and I had to ask Robert D, and I'm like, what does MMP stand for? And it's money making parties, and I should have known that. You know, I really should have known that already because it's part of our training. So I was just like, you know, I was kind of upset. Can you get out of the way? I was kind of upset that I had to ask the questions, but I asked because I didn't know, and now I know. So whenever I see that, I'm going to know immediately what it is, and I'll never ever forget it. But some people are really scared to ask the question because they think people think they're dumb. I didn't care what anybody thought, because if I didn't ask, I wouldn't know. Nobody was going to tell me. Now, had I not said anything, maybe they would have said it outright. You know, they might have actually verbalized it and said it, but I don't think so. So I asked, and I found out what I needed to know. So that's all that matters to me, you know. Anyway, guys, I got to go because I'm at work now, all right? You have a great day. Okay, bye-bye.